All right, folks. Good evening, believe it or not. It's cold. It's 27 degrees out here Fahrenheit. Behind me is, we did a thing on cotton. If you remember, I sat in a cotton field when I did the barrel. No, it was not the infinity bottle. It was the barrel barrel whiskey. It wasn't a barrel bourbon. It was the barrel whiskey. I think it's batch 4, but don't quote me on that. Batch 2 or batch 4. Anyway, neither here nor there. After they harvest the cotton, this is what they do with it. It comes in these big bales. They have two ways of doing it. They do it in a round bale, similar to, think of the new big round bales for hay they use. They'll bale cotton with the same thing as that, but then they use these square bales here. You can see that's mesh to keep that upper part from blowing away. The weight of the upper part holds the bottom part together for the most part, so as long as you keep the top part intact and not too wet, it holds together pretty well. So anyway, this is what they're going to do before it goes to the gin, and you'll look, you can see the specks and all the little pieces in there, and that's all the outer carapace that the cotton puff stays in. That outer leafy portion that turns hard, and when it flowers and it opens and releases that puff ball, a lot of that still gets trapped in. Not all that gets kicked off by the harvesting, during the harvesting process. I don't know how they actually do it. I don't know if it's, we got combines, we got corn cutters, and I don't know what they use for cotton. I've actually never seen it harvested, to tell you the honest to goodness truth. It's just something I've never been around when it's happened. Anyway, I digress. We get to see what it looks like in the after effect. Today I'm here about 4 roses, small batch, and this is the standard small batch. It's something I've never done. I've had quite a bit of. Usually it's my barbecue bourbon. I love it when I'm out barbecuing. That's just perfect with barbecue. It's 45% ABV. And I actually think it's a pretty bottle. I've always enjoyed that bottle myself. I really do. And it's for their mash bills. The way bourbon, and I don't know the mash bills, the 4 mash bills they use on it, but they combine the 4 mash bills to create the small batch. And it's really a well done bourbon. This is the step between the standard yellow label, what they refer to as the yellow label, then they have the small batch, then they have the single barrel. All right, let's get down to it. It's a medium, slightly dark, almost copper, dark honey copper. Oh, and I love the vanilla on it. I do. It's vanilla and caramel. Get a little of that rye in there. Actually, it's a little bit more than just a little bit of rye. I get a faint cherries on the nose. I still get that rye spice, so it still maintains pretty well in the nose. Oh. The caramel stays pretty solid, and the vanilla and the caramel stays pretty solid in this. And the barrel character is there, but it's not heavily influenced. As far as the oak, you don't really get that in the nose on this one, to me. Ah. That vanilla and caramel comes back through. The cherries wash up in the background. Ah. It's got an extremely linger in the back of the palate before it starts in the finish. An extremely good flavor that just dwells there. You do get the 45%, but it comes across in a metered way. It doesn't jolt you or hit you. It just kind of stays steady. You get a sense of the alcohol. It's not as strong as in the yellow, but it's still there. But it's a more even development throughout the palate. The cherries and the vanilla really dominate. The caramel kind of acts as a third wheel. It's kind of in the background on this one as you get into the palate itself. And the nose, the vanilla and the caramel are the first two things you notice, but when it hits the palate, it delivers the vanilla, the cherry, then the caramel. And there's a faint chocolate note in the back end of this. As it goes into the finish, I do notice a chocolate note that I didn't notice before on the nose. Yes. There is a slightly 60 to 75% cacao dark chocolate. It's not a bitter heavy, but it's just on that verge of starting to be a bitter chocolate. And it dwells in the palate along with the cherry. And there's an ever so slight oakiness, but the oakiness comes through almost nutty. Again, almost like crushed acorn. Almost a hazelnut, the way it kind of develops. But this is in the beginning through the finishes where I notice the oakiness hazelnut along with the chocolate. It's a good drinking bourbon. It's a really good drinking bourbon. Solid. Give it a solid score of an 85. I paid around $30, and I think that's what they generally go for. I don't know if that's changed. I haven't bought one recently. Usually it's in the $28 to $32 range in my area. Sometimes I think you catch it on sale for maybe around $25, but usually it's $28, somewhere $20 to $32. It's a buy at $28 to $32. You're going to enjoy it for that price. So I'll stop this review because I'm starting to get a little chilled now. So remember, the spirit in your glass ain't running from you. Take your time, sip it, enjoy it. You'll be better for it, as will we all. There's just a little bit of mist coming in. I don't know if it's covering the camera lens or not. I've gotten on the back side, so hopefully it doesn't do anything. So everybody, have a good day.